Hi everyone, this is Steve, and we're going to talk a little bit about the comprehension assessment and about how to input your scores for this week. So, a couple things with this assessment. It's really a two-part assessment, and in the first part you're doing a comprehension interview. And so that's always the top page in each of your packets going through. You'll ask the student a couple of questions. There's 5 questions at the top of things like, do you like to read? What languages do you read in? That type of thing. And at the bottom, questions 6 through 14, it does use a rating scale. What I would strongly suggest is that you give students that little yellow card that we placed inside your folder where it says 1, never, 2, rarely, 3, sometimes, 4, often, etc., and hand that to the student so they remember the rating scale, because invariably they forget if they don't have that. So a lot of good information you can get from doing the comprehension interview. It just takes a few minutes to do. So once they've done that, it's time to do the comprehension assessment. So we will always, as before, start with the student's word identification, i.e. their alphabetics mastery level, and go from there. So each one of the passages has a background knowledge questions, and you'll go ahead and ask them that first orally before they read the story and judge whether they give an adequate or inadequate answer. And then there's a motivating statement which you will read to the student, and then they will read the passage themselves silently. We have those on cardstock, and so give those to the student, and you can say something like, I'm going to ask you to read a passage silently and then answer some questions about what you read. And so the student reads, and you can say when you're done, just turn the passage over and I'll know you're ready to go. Now, what I would suggest you do is ask the comprehension questions, which are toward the right-hand side of the page. Then you have a section that says unprompted memories, and you ask the student to retell the story. Don't do that. You will drive yourself insane. Instead, use the comprehension questions. Ask those. There's an interpretive question under that that you'll ask as well. And only the comprehension questions and the interpretive count for the total score. The background knowledge question does not count toward the score. The good news is we've done the math and the heavy lifting for you. So it'll say at the bottom something like 8 or more correct or 75%, or 7 or less is under 75%, so you don't have to do the math there. So you can just continue to give this assessment, and you're trying to find the highest level that the student has 75% right. And so you may also need to go down as well. Some of you have experienced that as you've given these various assessments. So once we've given the assessment and the student is topped out, they're no longer getting 75% correct, what you're going to do is stop, and you're going to go ahead and input your scores. So we should be old hands at this, but this is a little bit different, so I'm going to walk you through. So once again, we'll swing down to the portfolio here and go where it says record assessments. And so I'm going to click on that. That will come up. As always, I'm going to do add new student and avoid the other thing that I don't even want to mention its name. So we can put the student in. I'm going to do IMA again. Their TABE score was 4. Their highest level accurate on the alphabetics list was a 5, so that's where I'm going to start their comprehension assessment. I swing down to the gray bar with the plus sign. I click on it. It opens. So I'm going to, what level did I begin testing? I started at 5. And use this one on the top where it says percent of questions correct. If using questioning, that's what you want to do. Click on that baby, that will open. So it asks here for a specific percent, but I'm not going to ask you to do that. If you're a math person and you love to do that, knock yourself out, you figure those percentage based on the number correct divided by the total number of questions. You'll get a point, whatever, 0.82 or whatever, that's 82%. You can certainly do that if you want, but you don't have to. So let's say I gave my student the level 5 and they had above 75%. What I'm going to ask you to do is just put in 75% plus. That's fine. You don't have to put in the exact percentage. For level 6, let's say I just give them the assessment again and they did great and they were over 75%. Again, looking down at the bottom, it'll show you 8 or more, 7 or more, whatever, depending upon how many questions. We've done the math for you. We've done the heavy lifting for you. So you can put that in. But let's say on level 7, they don't get that 75%. You can put in the exact percentage if you want to, but I'm cool if you just put in with not 75 is fine. So that's all it will allow you to do, had thought before maybe we could put under 75, but it won't take that. So that would be my end of the assessment. I'm going to go ahead and say that, put in the instructional level. And like a lot of these assessments, the instructional level is one above their mastery level. So their highest level of mastery in this case was level 6. One above that's going to be level 7. So their comprehension instructional level is going to be level 7. And then I'll go ahead and click on the submit. So that's how this works. As always, please let me know how I can help. Email, phone call. I'd be happy to web conference with you. If you have a laptop with the webcam, be happy to do that. So just let me know. Thanks again for all your hard work, and I look forward to seeing your scores on the comprehension assessment. Thanks so much, and I hope you have a great week.